So in today's session, we will talk about what is wireframe and
Mm-hmm.
why we need to understand a wireframe concept, why it is important in especially in business analyst kind of role.
Okay.
Generally, generally what happens is that a BA has a lot of responsibilities. Not only a BA is responsible to handle the client, but also
Mm-hmm.
he or she is responsible to make the client understand with a ready-made framework or ready-made prototype, something like that, in which
Mm-hmm.
the client has an idea that what exactly the project will be around, right? So
Right.
let's
Yeah.
suppose, let's take an example. मैं आपको एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल देता हूँ कि वायर फ्रेम है क्या, वायर फ्रेम की क्यों जरूरत
Mm-hmm.
पड़ती है, फिर हम उसको थोड़ा डीप डाउन और समझेंगे, ठीक है?
Okay.
ओके, सो द फर्स्ट थिंग इज दैट बेसिकली जो हमारा वायर फ्रेम है वो एक टू टू डायमेंशनल स्केलेटिकल आउटलाइन होता है किसी भी वेब पेज का, ठीक है?
Mm-hmm.
एक 2D डायग्राम होता है और इसके डायग्राम का बेसिक पर्पस होता है कि यू हैव टू क्लियर ओवरव्यू ऑफ द पेज, स्ट्रक्चर, लेआउट, इंफॉर्मेशन स्ट्रक्चर, यूजर फ्लो,
Mm-hmm.
फंक्शनैलिटी एंड इंटेंडेंट बिहेवियर्स। ये चार
Okay.
इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट्स हैं, ठीक है?
All
So
right.
basically, wireframe has four important things. The first is the structure part, second is the
Mm-hmm.
layout part, third is the
Mm-hmm.
information architecture, and fourth is the user workflow. Okay,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
so these are the four, and let me write it down so that you will also have an idea what
Mm-hmm.
exactly we are trying to understand. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
basically a wireframe is a structural 2D representation of
Mm-hmm.
information architecture which
Mm-hmm.
includes a layout, okay, user
Mm-hmm.
flow, and the functionality of the overall of the product which is going to be delivered to the client. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so basically what we are doing that we are just sending a prototype to a client. The idea is to give us a prototype. So you
Mm-hmm.
have a meeting with client and client says that how would the product would look like, where
Mm-hmm.
will I see the pages, where will be the buttons. Let's suppose you are, the client asks you that I need a product, I need an application on Android which is
Mm-hmm.
about e-commerce website. Okay, so I need
Mm-hmm.
a e-commerce app. So basically in the e-commerce app there are certain things which needs to be done, like the first is that there should be an option of the product listing, right? The
Mm-hmm.
product listing must be there on the first page. So
Mm-hmm.
first page is product listing. Then the second thing is what? Second thing is that the customer should be able to buy, cancel, right?
You're
The
right.
orders. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now third is that, now if you will break it down, the buy and cancel. The third point is that the person or the customer should be able to add the product to cart,
Mm-hmm.
right? So so first is that product listing, second is adding product to cart, and then is third is important about buying or canceling the orders. So once
Okay.
these products are being added, the customer is supposed to buy the product, then there should be a process of shipping, right? In the
Mm-hmm.
shipping process, the product, there is the each process which includes, like uh, the product has been placed, all these statements, the product has been sent to the warehouse, the product
Mm-hmm.
has been packaged, the product has been on the way to delivery, or some these type of things are there that should be mentioned in the shipping process part. Okay,
Process. Mm-hmm.
so so the customer, so basically whenever the any client asks you that I need a product, I need a prototype on e-commerce, then you have to make the customer understand, okay sir, you want a product on e-commerce, then do you need this? I think the basic proper purpose is that sometimes the client does not have idea. He just
Mm-hmm.
knows that I want a product or I want a e-commerce website or e-commerce application app. So you
Right.
have to come up with some certain homework. You have to do certain things with your own. And once
Mm-hmm.
you are having certain points, then only you could be able to show to the client and make them understand. So whenever somebody plans to buy a e-commerce website or or a product, then these
Mm-hmm.
are the important things which should be always there in the application. The product first page should be in the product listing. Then there should be option of buying or canceling the order. Third is the
Mm-hmm.
adding to cart. fourth is the shipping address, and there could be n number of things. I'm mentioning four things. There could be like customer support, right?
Right.
It's up to the customer that how many functionalities the customer is expecting to have in this product.
And product.
So it's not like that it is just four things. There will be a lot of things like customer support. Okay, there
Right.
would be like processes like refund or having money added to the wallet. Okay,
Right.
replacement, such kind of terms which we generally use in a e-commerce application, that should be
Mm-hmm.
part in that application. Okay, so that
Okay.
is how a prototype is being created. Now,
Created.
so this is just a basic example that what are the listing points are required so that
Mm-hmm.
the customer would be able to make it understand that what exactly it requires. So basically you are sharing a prototype to a customer, and this
Mm-hmm.
prototype would include the product listing, buying the product, canceling the products, right? Adding the product to the cart, and
Mm-hmm.
lastly, like when the order is placed, then the customer is supposed to ship the process, right? And then
Right.
like there are going to be situations like customer support. So
Mm-hmm.
these are some of the those well-known things that any person who is using a e-commerce website like Amazon or Flipkart, they have
Right.
an idea that what happens and what are the use case scenarios are there. Since we
Mm-hmm.
are like buying a lot of things online, so we are more or less already having an idea what would happen in such kind
Mm-hmm.
of situations. So basically the idea behind the wireframe is that the
Mm-hmm.
customer will get an overview that what would be the product would look like and how would be the functionality will work. Okay,
Okay.
so
Mm-hmm.
basically it's a 2D diagram. So it's a 2D diagram.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 2D structure. So this
Yeah.
2D structure is supposed to be like this basically the 2D structure. This 2D structure is supposed to having all the information, including the layouts, user flows, and the functionality. So
Mm-hmm.
all these parts are supposed to be added with this prototype. Okay.
Okay.
So let's try to understand more in detail that what exactly wireframe is that. I have just given a blueprint kind of thing, a basic idea that why we
Mm-hmm.
need a wireframe. Now,
Okay.
basically, it's up to the business analyst that how much beautiful you can make a PPT or make a wireframe diagram that the
Mm-hmm.
customer has a real-time kind of experience that how would be
Experience.
the product would look like. So wireframe basically includes the initial product concept, styling, coloring, graphics, which are like to be minimum. It's not like that
Mm-hmm.
you are supposed to make all designs and layouts. You are just
Mm-hmm.
giving an idea that how would it look like.
Mm-hmm.
Wireframe can be drawn by hand or created digitally depending upon the requirement you have. Generally, the most common practice is that it is used by the UX designers, in which the stakeholders and developers are supposed to make it as a product code. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And like when does a wireframing take place? The question is that what is the stage of the business process when the wireframe should be ready, okay? Or when the BA should be BA is supposed to create a wireframe. What is the stage in the project? So
Mm-hmm.
generally the wireframing process is take place during the exploratory phase. Are you able to understand the exploratory phase? So our exploratory phase means you are not sure that what is going to be delivered. You are just giving options to the client. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
sir, we are going to deliver this product to you, and this would look like this. So you are giving three or four options to the client in order to make him settle down with some of the decisions that he's going to take. So he should have our client should have a clear idea that I have got four options to develop the product, uh, and these four options I have got an idea that how would the product would look like and what would be the functionalities and what is the like scope of the product, what are the ideas that can be required. Everything should be mentioned in the wireframe diagram. So
Diagram.
basically a wireframe is the initial iteration of a web page, so we can
Okay.
say that, and which is used as jumping off point to the product design.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so generally what happens is that generally the company hires a BA to create the wireframe, and wireframe are generally done in two ways. The one is that you can just make a diagram on a notebook, right, by using notebook, simply writing down all the steps and all that. The other is that you can use various softwares like there are several softwares are there in market. So by this softwares you can make a wireframe diagram end to end. So what is the purpose of wireframe? The purpose of wireframing has three important key purposes. So please understand this point very clearly, that why we need to have this wireframing. The first is
Hmm.
that they keep the concept user focused. Okay.
Hmm.
They clarify and define website features,
Hmm.
and they are quick and cheap to create. Okay.
Okay.
So the first is
Hmm.
that concept should be user focused. So
Hmm.
whatever you are planning to share with the client, you are
Hmm.
focusing basically on the user point of view. Okay.
Yes.
So how would
Hmm.
the product would look like? What is the user? How would be the friendly the product would be? And third
Hmm.
is that you are not investing a lot of time and money in creating the prototype. You are just
Hmm.
using simple diagrams, using
Hmm.
certain kind of tools. You are making a flow of the project and
Hmm.
how it would look like. Okay.
Yeah. Hmm.
So that is the basic purpose of wireframe. So let's discuss in detail little bit. So wireframing keeps the concept user focused. So user focused means it has a lot of communication devices. You always try to take feedback from the client, make changes as per
Hmm.
the requirement. You can make right away changes. It's very easy
Hmm.
to design. It's very easy to modify those changes. You can get a feedback. You can add the pain points also. So where would be that stage where the team will have to work more or have to do certain things in a very what to say, that would be a tougher part of the project. So you are
Hmm.
mentioning everything in that wireframe. You're not just mentioning about the product, but also
Hmm.
you are mentioning that what are the key points that needs to be added, what are the
Hmm.
areas are there in which the development team or the software development team has to put a lot of effort in creating that feature. So
Feature.
everything is included in this wireframe product. And wireframe is a perfect way for designers to gauge how the user would interact with the interface. So
Hmm.
basically, the idea is that you are creating the interface, basically, how the
Hmm.
customer would be able to check this product. What the features will be on the first page? What are the
Hmm.
features that will become on the second page? All these
Hmm.
things come in the this whole wireframe concept user focused feature. Okay. The
Right.
second is that wireframe clarify and define website features. So what does that mean? To wireframe clarify and define the website features. It means that whatever would be the features that you are trying to create for the customer, you are
Hmm.
defining every feature of the website in this wireframe action. So let's
Hmm.
suppose you are creating step one, and then
Hmm.
after step one, you are planning that. Let's take an example, and I will try to make you understand.
Hmm.
Now,
Hmm.
let's suppose you want to make a product. So you have a step one, and this is step one. What you are doing, you are adding a website. Okay. And
Hmm.
like you have this home page, and this home page, the next is that in the step two, you have this in the home, you have this product listing page. Okay.
Hmm.
Product list view page. Now let's
Hmm.
suppose in the third page, you have, let's suppose in the third page, you are giving all the offers and or the offers or combo offers. Let's suppose you are selling all the combo offers. Okay. So I have just created three steps. The step one is that in the step one, what I'm trying to do, in the step one, I'm creating a home page. In the step two, I'm trying to create a product list view page. Okay.
Hmm.
In the step three, what I would do, let's suppose in the step three, I'm giving the combo offers. Okay.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so my idea is that whatever the customer is trying to experience in the website, I'm just
Hmm.
giving an overview idea of what how would the customer would get into each and everything that is going to happen in while surfing the application. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I'm just taking a three-step example. Then the step one, I will showing the home page. In the step two, I'm showing the product list view page. In the step
Hmm.
three, I'm showing the combo offers. Okay.
Hmm.
So in these three steps, the idea is that it's not like that the customer will not be able to check the step three if he wants to check or not. The customer
Hmm.
could be able to check step three. If he wants to see step one to that step three, he can switch to step three also. If the
No.
customer thinks that no, I want to get back to step 2, so he can go a reverse back to step 2 also. Okay.
No.
So it should be in this way. It's not like that you can only go to step 3 to step 2 and step 2 to step 1. You can go
Mm,
either ways. So we are
mm,
giving a full flexibility to the customer. If you click on home page, you can either go on list view page, or you can go to list view page to combo offer page as
mm.
per the requirement and as per the user desire. The product
Okay.
page would be landing. Okay.
Right.
So so wireframe clearly defines that what would be like the image, what would be the call to action feature, okay,
Mm,
and what are the communications. So the communication part should be very clear, that
mm,
what are you going to serve, what are you are going to sell. The
mm,
communication part of the website should be very clear. If you are
mm,
selling clothes, so your clothes branding should be proper there. The icon should be properly visible to the web page. The what is the company details, offer price, product listing, quantity, everything should be very clear to the customer. The customer should never get on confusion, or there should not be any brokerage in the functionality part. Okay,
mm,
so these are some of the basic areas that needs to be very clear, and that is what Wireframe helps us to clarify the and define the website features. Okay,
mm,
so third is that like wireframes are quick and cheap to create. So let's suppose the customer asks you, the client asks you that okay, I'm looking for such kind of product. Does your company have such kind of feature? Can they develop it? So if you would go to the developer team and they will create a prototype, then prototype will be tested, then it will get back to you, then you will go to and send the presentation to client. So it will be a very long process. Okay, so in order to avoid such kind of long process, the
mhm,
BA does not have that much time to create a prototype and then send back to the customer. Then the customer will select. So the
mm.
if the customer like does not like that the prototype, then the effort of developers will also get wasted. Okay,
You're right.
so that is why the wireframe concept came into the market. And in this wireframe, the BA quickly creates the product by using certain kind of diagrams and representation, and then show the product to the client and right away get the assurance that whether they are looking for this kind of product or not. Okay.
Mhm. Okay.
So that is the main purpose of having a wireframe. So let's
Mm,
talk about the fourth and important point, that what are the different types of wireframes. So they basically there are like three main types of wireframe. The first is like low fidelity wireframes. Okay.
mhm,
And this low fidelity wireframes are there. Then second is mid fidelity wireframes. Okay.
mhm,
And the third is high fidelity wireframes. There are three kind of wireframes:
mhm.
low fidelity wireframes, mid fidelity wireframes, and high fidelity wireframes.
What does it
Okay,
mean, low fidelity wireframe, middle and high? Like
okay,
priority, how it is?
yeah. Let me give you an example how that does that work.
Oh,
So,
okay.
low fidelity means there is just a basic visual
Oh,
representation.
okay. Okay.
You are not giving a lot of details. You are just giving a basic idea that how
Mm-hmm.
would the product would look like. Now let's suppose
Okay.
what I am doing. I am also creating some steps, right? But
Right.
instead of creating this, what I can do, I can just write here step one, okay, and then
Mm-hmm.
what I can do, like create step two, and
Mm-hmm.
then what can I do? I can just give here step three.
Mm-hmm.
Now, instead of creating in this way, like step one, step two, and step three,
Mm-hmm.
I am just trying to give you a basic idea that what would happen, how would the
Mm-hmm.
product would look like. This is a basic representation of how
Okay.
the
Got
product would look like.
look
Okay.
like rough
Okay.
diagram you are giving just.
Yes. So that is why it is called low fidelity wireframes. So these are
Okay.
like basic and visual representation of the page, and
Mm-hmm.
usually serves as the design starting point, and they are tend to be fairly tough, created like without any lot of scaling and other grid or pixel accuracy.
Mm-hmm.
The idea is just to give and include all the simplistic images, block shapes, mock content, and the labels and diagrams. So you can
Okay.
see over here in this diagram
Mm-hmm.
that in this diagram there is a
Mm-hmm.
login page, step one, then there is a home page in the step two, This is how
Mm-hmm.
the login page would look like. There would be an icon, there would be like username, password, and sign in
Mm-hmm.
button. And in the step 2, you can see this profile icon, edit button, some basic details, and the home page, and there is a sign up icon. Search
Mm-hmm.
results would look like this, detached view would look like this, review screen would look like this, and the review submitted would look like this. So that's just a basic low fidelity diagram of a wireframe. Okay. And in which you are trying to explain the user flow. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about the second one, that is called mid fidelity wireframes. The mid fidelity wireframes are more accurate representation of the layout, and it is used that you avoid any such kind of distractions such as images,
Mm-hmm.
typography, more details and specific components, and the features which are not, which are like clearly differentiated from each other. So the idea is that you have much more clear idea from this diagram. Now let's see the same thing in a very detailed way. Now you can see over here, you are
Mm-hmm.
using you can see that how would the home button would look like, how the
Mm-hmm.
button would be like here, right?
Mm-hmm.
The icons are
Right.
properly visible, the
Mm-hmm.
profile icon is probably visible, the search button is properly visible here, the topic
Mm-hmm.
1, topic 2, these are like some of those icons which are completely visible under a mobile phone screen, right? This
Yes.
is smartphone
Right.
screen, and you can completely understand that how would like the product would look like.
They
Okay.
look like. Yeah.
The second is this one you can see over here. So that is the basic idea um of this called mid fidelity
Mm-hmm.
wireframes. Okay. Now let's talk about the third one. The third one is high fidelity wireframe. So in the
Mm-hmm.
high fidelity wireframe, we give a very good idea about the product design and everything. Now, this is
Mm-hmm.
a mid fidelity wireframe in which we are just showing the icons and how exactly the product would look like. The designer has to get into role when we are
Mm-hmm.
sharing a high fidelity wireframe. Now, you will share this complete page. In this, you can see that it's not colorful, but yet it
Mm-hmm.
has a very good UI, and the
Mm-hmm.
customer can see that step 1 is completed, step 2 is in progress, and third is yet to be done. Now, invite
Mm-hmm.
user options are there. Let's suppose there are four different users are there, and you are just trying to invite those peoples. Okay, so that's
Okay.
how the page layout would look like. Okay,
Okay.
so this is an idea of three different
Mm-hmm.
wireframe. That is low fidelity wireframe, mid fidelity wireframe, and the high fidelity wireframe.
Very
Okay,
fine. Right. Mm-hmm.
so I hope this is clear to you, right?
Yeah. This is got yeah clear.
Okay. Now let's try to understand that what is included in a wireframe. So generally
Mm-hmm.
what happens is that whenever you are trying to create a wireframe, you are
Mm-hmm.
basically supposed to add the features. Whether you are going to
Correct.
create a low fidelity, uh, mid fidelity or high fidelity, you are
Mm-hmm.
basically adding a features in a very simplistic and in a very sorted and visible manner, right? In an
Manner.
understandable manner, right? So the
Right.
elements which you are trying to add, like logos, fields,
Mm-hmm.
headers, share
Mm-hmm.
buttons, okay,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
placeholders, that should be very clear. Okay.
Okay.
And
Mm-hmm.
generally, what happens is that in low fidelity the wireframe, you cannot add a lot of things. You can just add a basic idea. So let's
Mm-hmm.
suppose if you are supposed to add navigation system or contact information, these are like a complex part of data representation. So this can only be added only through high fidelity wireframe using the help of the UX designer, that is called designer of the product team. Okay. So
Okay.
you can take help from them, and then only you can create a high fidelity diagram. Okay.
Okay.
So let's talk about that. What are like website wireframes and what is like mobile wireframes? So there are some wireframes which are specific only to websites, and there
Mm-hmm.
are certain kind of wireframes which are specific to mobile wireframes. So what happens is that uh, in desktop wireframes, we are supposed to create a different icon. Now let's suppose, let me give you an example so you will get an idea what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So let's suppose this this is how a page is there, and
Mm-hmm.
I want to add. Now let's suppose here is username,
Mm-hmm.
and here we are writing the password, and this is where we
Login
are
or
putting
sign
the
in.
login. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is what is this one? Basically, the idea is that this is basically a representation of a web page in a desktop version. I'm trying to give an idea that how would a computer screen would look like if it has
Yes.
a desktop version.
Okay.
I will
This
share
is
you the
like a
link.
usage chart. We can use these things in the
Yeah,
usage chart, right? Okay.
right. You can use it either ways. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's suppose this is the URL part, and in this URL, basically you are trying to add the details of the website.
Mm-hmm.
So let's suppose the website details are this. Okay. So this is
Got
like a desktop version of this web
desktop
page.
person. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's create parallelly the
Mobile
version.
version.
So mobile version. So let's suppose this is how the mobile would look like.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to create the same thing over here, but I am going to have certain kind of diagrams. So what would it look like? So basically it would look like this.
It's
And
like
let's
same
suppose,
with just the little, right?
right, the same thing we are doing, but this is not we are doing for we are doing for mobile. Okay.
Mobile.
So the idea is basically that whatever
Mm-hmm.
we are trying to add over here, we are
Mm-hmm.
giving a customer an idea that how this your login button would look like. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
How the same thing which is on the website would look
Mm-hmm.
like and how this would look like on the mobile.
Mm-hmm.
Both the thing will land you to this artist.com website, let's suppose.
Mm-hmm.
So username, password, and login button. So you are giving the same outcome in the mobile application also and the desktop also. So
Also.
this is
Yeah.
something called a low fidelity wireframe. So
Mm-hmm.
we are not only trying to make a customer understand, but also trying to show that what would be the every page would look like.
Look like, yeah. Okay.
Okay, let's take another example. Let me show you one more thing. Now you will
Mm-hmm.
have more idea about. So let's add some more diagram and strokes into it. And
This is the second page.
yeah, let's suppose I'm adding a second page.
Okay.
I'm just trying to add to make you understand that how the product would look like. Okay.
So we have to make like this when they ask, or we will go like a representation form, like box and all. Like I'm
So
not
this
sure,
is
like
also a
process
kind of
diagram.
representation basically. This is also a
Okay.
kind of representation. So idea is that
Mm-hmm.
you not everybody could understand by writing just you can just I told you na there are different ways of showing the same data.
Same
Now
data,
you
right?
tell me I
Mm-hmm.
have written here step 1, step 2, and step 3.
Right.
The step
Right.
1 was
Yeah.
the home page, step 2
Mm.
was the like product list view page, and step 3 is combo offer.
Right.
Now
Mm-hmm.
this is called a low fidelity kind of diagram,
Mm-hmm.
right? In just
Right.
showing the basic data, what would it look like. Now
Look
in
like
this one, I'm trying to give you a visual representation, right? It's
notation.
kind of 2D structure. Now you can
Structure.
see this is how your laptop screen is there, like it's and this
Right.
is how the browser is there. This is how
Mm-hmm.
the search box is there in the browser, and this is what like a page would look like. Similarly, in
Mm-hmm.
the application also, this is how it looks, right?
Right.
So I'm trying to give you a basic idea that how this product would look like, and
Like
what are the things which you could add in this whole product. Okay.
product. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So that is the purpose of basically making this so
Mm-hmm.
that you will understand and you can make it for your client also.
Okay.
So now let's suppose this is a 2D representation of the second page, And what I'm trying to add is that I'm just trying to add some basic details over here. Like,
Mm-hmm.
let's suppose I'm trying to add here search button. So let's suppose generally is there is a Google icon is there, right? And
Mm-hmm.
generally what we do is that we just try can be a technical person or maybe a non-technical person. But
Right.
generally what happens is that a human person understand more with a diagram, more with a
Mm-hmm.
presentation. That is why the
Presentation.
wireframe take place. Your communication will be much clear, much
Mm-hmm.
understandable, right? You
Mm-hmm.
will have more
Right.
importance in that meeting when you will show somebody a visual representation with all these inputs that customer has given to you. So that is
Right.
why this is how you can show to the customer and get an idea that how the product would look like.
Look like,
So
yeah.
my idea is that my point of explaining you is this one is that you are showing here the search icon in the search box. You are showing
Mm-hmm.
the topic one, topic two, like product one is there here. Now
Mm-hmm.
product two is here. Now product
Mm-hmm.
three is here. So you are showing each product in this boxes. Product one, product two, product three. Now not only that, in here in this certain button, you are showing that this would be like kind of advertisement icon, right? You are giving a
Right.
sort small banner over here, and this
Mm-hmm.
banner would look like $499, hurry up, like,
Right.
and the customer
Mm-hmm.
wants to get into some more deals. So we are clicking showing a fresh deals like option.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what a mobile smartphone whole page structure, like 2D structure we said. If you remember
Mm-hmm.
in the starting
Yeah.
of this session, I was trying to tell you that we will have a 2D structure,
The data structure.
information architecture,
Mm-hmm.
layout,
Mm-hmm.
workflow, and the
Mm-hmm.
functionality. So these
Right.
all things are being used in this creating a diagram.
Diagram.
Okay.
Okay.
So I
Mm-hmm.
hope you are able to understood that what exactly this wireframe is trying to tell you and why it
Mm-hmm.
is going to help you out whenever you are going to talk to the customer with your
Customer.
services. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you can use this website called 𝗟𝗏𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗏.com. I will also share the link with you and you
Mm-hmm.
can just get over here and it has a
Mm-hmm.
very good uh, features are there. And
Mm-hmm.
in next session, I will try to explain another tool called 𝗟𝗏𝗀𝗀𝗃. And here
Mm-hmm.
this is like a this is more or like a low fidelity wireframe kind of diagram is this one. And in the
Mm-hmm.
𝗟𝗏𝗃𝗃 is that you can just do a middle level fidelity diagram. So that I will explain in next lecture. But as of now, I'm trying to give an idea how this whole thing
Mm-hmm.
look like. Okay.
Right. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So you understood the first step also in this way of the presentation, or you also understood this one also. You
Mm-hmm.
understood that what is the basic difference between the
Mm-hmm.
desktop wireframing, right, and the
Mm-hmm. Right.
mobile wireframing. So
Well.
you are understanding the mobile wireframing and also the desktop wireframing. So I am trying to give you more a practical understanding so that
Mm-hmm.
this practical understanding will help you out in real time and real world examples. Okay, in real world.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not a theoretical concept. Basically, it's a practical kind of thing. And whatever practices you do, different kind of products, different kind of ideas you want to execute, or you want to show somebody to your seniors, colleagues, or somebody like client, you can use such kind of tool and give the visual representation of all your thoughts on a
Mm-hmm.
proper structured way. That is why the wireframe takes place. Okay, this is the
Okay.
idea behind the wireframe. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this whole concept of wireframing,
So this is a process diagram? No, this is the wireframe only.
right? This is just a process. This is just an example of a basic diagram. It's not a
Okay.
process diagram. It's just a basic idea of how the product would look like. Now,
Mm-hmm.
process diagram is a very different concept. It's more about that how the process would look like. What would be the process one? What would be the process two? Like suppose in the process one, you are going to the home page. Now in this
Mm-hmm.
process two, you are going to the product list view page. Now
Mm-hmm.
in order to get into in the process two, you have different functionalities. You can like add a product to the cart. You can directly buy this product. You can
Mm-hmm.
what to say? You can view the product. Now different
Okay.
processes are there. Now if you click on buy the product, then what it would happen, it will ask you the quantity part. Now you
Mm-hmm.
added the quantity, then it will ask go land you to the payment page. Then it will ask you about that how you want to make a payment. So these are different processes are there, right? Now the question is that what tools are used in market today for the wireframing. Now there are various tools are there. You can use a sketch, right? You can use this 𝗟𝗏𝗃, right? 𝗟𝗏𝗃 tool which I told you. Now there are
Mm-hmm.
different best framing tools are there in the market, right? So these
Mm-hmm.
are also like wireframing example. You can see that this is a pencil sketch written by created by just a paper or pencil. This is also an example of wireframing. Okay, here you
Mm-hmm.
can just see the icons over here, and this is also an example at how this product would look like. Okay,
Like.
so you can see that this the banner is there, the first header part is there. Now this whole in this banner page, like this is
Mm-hmm.
a navigation bar basically. In the navigation bar, you are showing this impossible icon and this button over here. And in this banner, you are showing this this headlines is there, right? This tags are there. There is a small button over here. Now in the second page of the HTML, in the middle section, you can see that we are showing a diagram of the product. We are showing that what is this product is about. Let's say it is a, suppose it's a camera. So choose your camera. Then details about some marketing punchlines are over here. There is a some
Mm-hmm.
shop now button or buy now button is here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in the and in the same middle page of this HTML, there is another photograph which has been taken by this camera, and it is showing that instant film recording is options are there, and there are some other um, uh, branding lines are also overwritten here. And in the third and the bottom page layout, it is showing that endless inspiration subscribe button is there, and in the bottom one, the footer part, the page footer part, you can see that all those footer details like subscribe now, Instagram channel, Twitter channel,
Mm-hmm.
Facebook channels, and a contact us pages, all rights result, everything is over here. Now the customer gets a very good idea, right? The customer
Mm-hmm.
gets a basic idea from here. The same, see, you can see that this is just the same thing.
Right.
This is a high fidelity diagram. This is the low
Mm-hmm.
fidelity diagram. In the low
Right.
fidelity diagram, you are showing that this would like the impossible button would be here. Here would be some icons. Here would be the page layout. This would be like look like, and this is just a low fidelity diagram. Same
Diagram.
thing is there with the help of some good icons, but it's still not clear, but it has a it is much better than the low fidelity diagram. It is at least giving you idea of the web page and the page layout, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in
Right.
the third one, that is the high fidelity, you are getting exactly what you are going to deliver to the client.
Incline.
Okay, so these are the basic example of wireframing and high fidelity and low fidelity tools, and you can also check some of those examples over here. So I'm trying
Mm-hmm.
to zoom in much that you can see that the same thing has been done in three different ways. I can see over
Mm-hmm.
here. Icons are
Right.
there, the low fidelity, uh, middle fidelity, and high fidelity. Okay. Now in this diagram number two, the same thing is there also. This one also is same. This is like a you can see that this is like kind of like a conversation page on the app, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like whenever you like you log in with a WhatsApp, you're not talking to your friend. So this is how the
Mm-hmm.
conversation application page would look like. So the
Okay.
idea is that you should also have an idea that
Mm-hmm.
how that page would look like. You
Look
cannot
like, yeah.
create a random stuffs. You cannot create random stuffs and say and give it to customer. You
You're
have to
right.
follow the industry standard and the industry like application standard. That generally
You're right.
how the chat options look like. Generally,
You're right.
how does the communication part of the web of the uh, application or softwares like WhatsApp or Telegram, how it would look like. So this is how it
You're
look like, right? Generally you have the name of that particular friend or the user too, and this
right.
is the conversation sent by them, this is the
Mm-hmm.
conversation sent by you, and this is how this like camera icon and this add feature icon, add message option, this is how the high fidelity diagram looks like. And same thing in the middle fidelity and the low fidelity. Okay, so you not only you I'm the basic idea of showing you different examples is that you have to
I get you
take
right.
only this example as a standard. You cannot create random stuff over here. You cannot
Oh.
use anything that is out of the scope of the project. Although you have to use your creativity, but the basic idea is that you have to stick to the industry standards and the application of the product,
Product,
right?
right. Hmm.
So you cannot create random stuff over here. So that is why I'm trying to give you a lot of examples over here to make you understand that how this would look like.
Look like, yeah.
So, okay. So I hope this is clear to you, and this will give you a very good idea at how the
Mm,
wireframe look like, and why the companies are more focusing on wireframe, and especially the business analyst peoples are, and these
mm,
guys are very much asked that why
mm,
you should have a very good idea about
mm,
wireframing and what are the
mm,
different things you can represent to your client and what are the
mm,
elements that you can use while
mm,
giving an example or a
mm,
prototype to your client.
mm.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Mm.
Okay.
Got it.
So
Mm.
I hope this is clear to you, right?
Right. This is clear to me.